And good morning. It's Wednesday, September 28th, 2022, and we are all the way live with things you might have heard for this day. Technically, the last day, 30 hours prior. But these are some things you can get your day started off with for your coffee chat, your bus chat, your water cooler chat, your chatty chat. These are some top stories from the last 30 hours that you helped to deem as most conversational. We'll tell you how we whittle them down towards the end of this broadcast, but 8 news stories that you can use to kind of jumpstart your conversation and maybe feel a little bit smarter going forward. Now, we at the Conversation Project like to believe that we are a tertiary news source, not your main primary source, just a news source. And we call ourselves your news side piece because we give you some stories that may have been missed, not exactly pushed down. Now, the you saw in the teaser graphic, we're talking about the hurricane because it is the biggest thing going on right now. One passed last week, another one about the Florida. That's our top story. We'll get to that in a moment. But some of the stories, this see right here, will be a bit off the beaten path. So hopefully you will enjoy that. If you do, stop by our main website, which is This Is a Conversation Project. Find out more about us and see if there's some ways you'd like to help us support what's going on here. Keep things going, if you will. Now, let's go ahead and get into what's happening in yesterday for this morning. Starting off with Hurricane Ian, forecast to hit Florida West Coast as Cat 3. Two things are different. Well, one thing that's different about this is that hurricanes don't usually hit the west coast of Florida. They hit in the Gulf, so they hit Louisiana, they hit Mississippi, they hit sort of the panhandle because they hit the top part of the state. They usually don't hit the west coast of the state. And so Tampa's not had a hurricane like this in like 100 years, literally. They've got storm surge because it's a bay, but they're dealing with some issues right there. And what's going on there is they officially moved their practice from Tampa Bay. There's a game supposed to be Sunday, the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Packers, I think. And so they're supposed to have a game on Sunday. They moved practice to Miami for the team. They may move the game. They're going to figure that out by Friday once the storm has actually hit land and has done what it's going to do. But the biggest issue about this is as it came over Cuba, the storm has picked up intensity. Right now, expected to hit as a Cat 4 and expected to hit much earlier than believed. Yesterday, they were saying about 4 in the afternoon. Today, it looks like it may hit sometime before noonish, maybe 1 or 2-ish on that level there. We are definitely keeping an eye on this storm. A lot of late storms in the season. The one that went through Puerto Rico went up and did some damage in Canada. This one about to batter Florida quite a bit. So if you're in Florida, make sure you are safe and sound and dealing with whatever you must deal with for this upcoming storm because it is definitely coming. Magnus Carlsen accuses Hans Nemer of cheating. Remember a few days ago when we talked about the chess scandal where the chess champion got on the screen for the virtual chess session, made one move, and then said, "I'm done," and quit? That person, Magnus Carlsen, has spoken up, and he is accusing his opponent, Hans Nemer, of being a cheater. You didn't think there was tea to spill in the world of competitive chess, but guess what? This thing's getting ugly. This thing's getting ugly fast, and we are all for this. You think this is Desperate House or Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives type stuff? Oh, these guys go hard. They go hard in the chess world for your drama. Check this out. Click the link, get deeper into the story, and trust me, you're going to be sucked into this, and you're going to wonder how you never got into the world of crazy chess stuff because crazy chess stuff goes crazy, crazy hard. Let's go to Keenan Thompson, whose ex-wife is apparently dating Saturday Night Live alum Chris Reed. And if you're saying, but weren't they on the show at the same time? Yes, that is. Chris Reed, I believe, is one of the recent people who has left the show over the big mass exodus for the season before the season starts in a few weeks. He's one of the people who left as a major player, as a feature. I don't know the feature player. I guess he was a real cast member, full-time cast member for that. And if you ask, well, wasn't he a co-star on Keenan's little sitcom thing? The answer to that question is also yes. He plays his brother on the sitcom Kenan. Now, Kenan is most people see it as just sort of a treat, a reward for Keenan Thompson being such a loyal guy at NBC and Saturday Night Live. Not much expected of the sitcom. It's not bad. It's just sort of just kind of there. And most people would expect it had been Don Johnson who's out there creeping on Keenan Thompson's wife because he's Don Johnson, also co-star of Kenan. But no, it is Chris Redd. We'll see if Chris Redd will continue to be on Kenan going forward and how this relationship is going. Maybe. iPhone 14 Pro sales not strong enough to trigger a production boost. All you people out there who have been waffling over should I get the iPhone 14 Pro, and I've seen a lot of you folks on their social media, throwing out to people because you can't make a decision on your own. You're the reason why Apple's having problems. Well, more or less, because if you're not buying enough iPhones, there's no reason to build more iPhones. The demand for this big new overreach, as I like to say, in this year's update is not so great because we don't have any money. Pandemic. There may be record unemployment, but people aren't getting paid enough. And yeah, we got to start paying student loans back in about 2 months. So the iPhone 14, which costs probably, $250 million, is not high on the level for things. And while the improvements are pretty good, some people call them a bit underwhelming based on how fast things are going. And so the cost of this particular phone, not worth it for the yearly people who do the yearly upgrades. And, we've got other issues, other money problems right now. The iPhone, not still popular. This one right here for the upgrade, not so much. So the next production trigger for boosting production, not happening quite yet. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool adds Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. If you had a chance to see the teaser video that was posted online, it's Ryan Reynolds sitting on a couch, just sort of thinking about what to do, just kind of perplexed because he's got to put this movie out, Deadpool 3, and he doesn't have any real ideas to put into it. And then Hugh Jackman just kind of walks in the background, and Ryan has, hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine again? And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. And kind of walks off, which starts the playing of the I Will Always Love You, the, of course, Whitney Houston version of the song. Now, Hugh Jackman, of course, Wolverine technically is dead, although with all the time travel and weirdness they did with the X-Men movies, who, still owned by Sony, you can do what you want with the characters. Actually, Sony actually owns the Deadpool character, but it's still technically MCU because it's tied in. This is actually the first MCU official tied in movie for Deadpool. Deadpool existed outside of that, and for various reasons, was limited in the use of the characters it could use because some had some issues being owned by Sony, some had issues being owned by Marvel and Disney. But this time, all bets are basically off. How this will play as the second movie meeting of Wolverine and Deadpool. Of course, Wolverine Origins had Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds as a Deadpool, which Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool killed in Deadpool 2. So we'll see how that works out. But we're going to see Hugh Jackman put on the hair and the big long nails one more time at least as Wolverine. Logan comes back for Ryan Reynolds' movie Deadpool 3. Fans are demanding a Tom Holland guest appearance at the Super Bowl. Why? Because Rihanna is performing, and Tom Holland, who had a hilarious battle with his girlfriend Zendaya on the lip sync battle, whatever they call that thing, the lip sync battle for the thing where the famous people do lip syncing stuff. He had a performance of Rihanna wearing the black leathery thing going on that had people in tears and stitches, just rolling in the floor laughing, if you will. And so the fans are demanding Tom Holland to reprise that performance for the Super Bowl alongside Rihanna, hopefully in the same outfit. Might be a bit confusing, might be a little bit embarrassing, but hey, fans are asking for it. They probably aren't going to get it. We're going to see how much that turns into a reality or just more of a fantasy. Stage referendum yields expected result as Russia readies annexation. So Russia let the areas that are next to Russia that they rolled into in Ukraine have some votes to say, hey, we might want to be a part of Russia. And overwhelmingly, like 97%, because they're all at 97%, those areas said yes, including some places that actually had no Russians occupying them. They just said, you guys want to have a vote? Go have a vote. And they voted, and everybody said yes. Most everybody said yes, because you can't have 100%. Oh, there is a 3% margin of error at 97% saying yes. So technically you could have 100%. It's possible. It's possible that this could happen on Friday when Putin just sort of announces to the world that I got this thing. UN still having some special referendum stuff, and Russia has a chance to talk. So Russia may say, or Putin may say, as of now, I bequeath you as part of Russia. Go forth and do great things. This could happen just by literally saying the words, not quite by thinking it. Pause for effect. But by saying the words in a public forum where people will see them, and because Putin's law in Russia, Putin's law in Russia. We shall see how this plays out. What will probably happen is Ukrainians will be rolling in those areas to keep fighting for their land back. And now that Russia can sort of claim this is Russian territory and you're now invading Russian territory, this may up the talk about nuclear actions and other sorts of things to retaliate and push back on people who are attacking sovereign Russian soil because Russia forced people to give it to Russia. That's how world politics work. We obviously will see how this thing works. This is not quite the most important thing because we have this hurricane coming up, and there's also a typhoon going through Asia, which is causing issues as well. But this right here is an ongoing saga, very much ongoing saga. And of course, pun intended, winter is coming. I've never seen the show, but I've seen on the memes, and it's just what it is. Usually it's people going for bread and stuff here in the South when, an ice storm's coming. Post Malone in hospital with stabbing pain, canceled Boston concert. We had the original story when Post Malone fell at a concert and then had to basically give that one up because he was in pain. But he did say the show must go on. He was going forward. Now he can't go on some shows and can't quite go forward. The cancellation of a show in Boston a few days ago was a part of this. Still in pain from the fall. Basically probably needs to kind of get off his feet for more than a bit time. But he's trying to keep the fans happy and try to, just be a good guy, which is cool on that one. We're going to see how long we can keep going with Post Malone doing what he's doing. I don't know what that's all about. And how long Post Malone will keep going doing what he's doing and how well he will get in the time going forward. We're hoping for a speedy recovery, getting him back to doing the stuff he does, wandering around, mumbling and having tattoos on his face and being in Doritos commercials because those are pretty damn funny. Let's tease a story for possibly tomorrow. Eminems not recalls, that's a whole nother story, reveals new purple candy character first in a decade. Comma should have been there. The new purple candy M&M is coming out very, very soon. You can already order it online in batches. It's going to be in various special packs to be out there. And the thing about this is they're going to test market the purple character. She is here. She is glorious. She's coming whether you want or not. But how popular will she be is going to be, tested. Eminems is always testing out various flavors, various things, putting out special edition stuff. And now we're going to see how fast it'll get her in your regular bag of plain and peanut M&Ms if the purple character as a character is popular. As a color, we'll see what happens. So you can put whatever color you want into whatever. Remember, like the orange M&M is a specific one. He is, the pretzel one. And there's also other things where the brown one is like pure brown and things like that. And then I think the blue is something special as well. But we do have all the M&M colors. I guess they're all the same flavor, chocolate and something. But we will see how popular new color purple will be. We will talk more about the color purple, pun intended there, tomorrow if you decide this is worthy of talking about. So that means you need to find the story when it posts on our feeds. Every 50 minutes, we post a new story on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/thisisconversation and Twitter.com/th_conversation. When you see those stories in the feeds, engage with them, like them, love them, hate them, share them, heart them, read them, get to know them, chat them up. And if they are deemed worthy, if we put them in, if they're basically in the top half of the stories that get posted on engagement every single morning when we pull the feeds, we'll talk about it. It'll be in there. We'll do more chatty chat on the purple M&M if that is one you want to chatty chat up. Right now, let's go to this morning's sponsor. It is Fundrise, a much easier to follow along sponsor in the money sense. I am big into money, if you will, because we need money to pay for this thing. But I'm big into money and investments and literally watching dividends and interest and investments grow and go in that way. I'm a nerd like that, and those numbers are fascinating to me. While my stocks and my funds have not done so great because the market is bad, the market for housing is insane. it is a bubble, and at some point in time, it won't be so great. But at the beginning of this year, I signed up for Fundrise with a small deposit, and within a few days, going through the platform, seeing what was there, I signed up for their affiliate program because it looked like a great thing to do. And over the 9 months of time, I have earned about 6.5% interest, 6.5% dividends, 6.5% of money on the money I put in. Just a steady amount of flow. This is not, and we also ended up buying a house in this time. So we know how much the housing market is going and how much houses are going for, all the prices along with that one. Keeping up with Fundrise was a great thing to do in the housing surge, believe it or not, because I could see how the market was working. But it also is a great investment because right now houses are still hot. The market is slowing a bit. The market for the side things like labor and lumber is cooling down because there's not enough houses to buy and build on. However, the market, if you can get into it, is still pretty high. The cost of houses is still pretty high. And if you can get into a simple way of investing in real estate, buy like a fund, you can do that. Try Fundrise right now. This is conversationproject.com/Fundrise and get in and get free shares for your contribution. And the first 30 days will be free money because they take advisory fees out of your deposits, out of your dividends, out of what you're making. That's how they make their money. They're going to waive that for 30 days. Check it out at this is a conversationproject.com/Fundrise and see how the world of real estate investing can help you with your portfolio, which is probably not doing so great at the moment. Let's move into our yakety yak about ourselves. This is the point where I tell you, go to our website. This is conversationproject.com. If you want to know about our sponsors, there's there. You want to know about partnerships, it's there. You want to know more about the feeds, it's there. You want to follow us along 5 days a week, follow the links to our YouTube page and our podcast. And we have that there. We're also going to launch very soon, once we get some things logistics worked out, a new and hopefully improved, better than bold, some type like that, a weekly wrap-up type podcast where we're going to give you the top 10 stories. It's sort of a different sort of measurement, if you will, top 10 stories of the week, and bring back the conversation interview, which we used to call the interview with the unfair brackets, and talk to real people about what they think about the news, give them a chance to promote themselves, and talk about some news stories, see what real people think, make this more conversational, as I've promised. Find out more about how that's going to work out when you see us at our website, our home on the web. This is theconversationproject.com. Now, today things. The 28th of September brings us great birthdays to celebrate, including, I call this women's of generations to talk about. Let's start off with Bridget Bardot, turning 88 years old. Basically the world's first glamorous supermodel, super actress type first, probably not the first, but she is famous for just being fabulous. And she's fabulously hitting 88 on the day. Janine Garofalo, who's not doing a lot of stuff in front of the camera, but still pretty active behind the scenes, still active as a writer and a producer, and of course embodies a whole lot of Gen X angst in the time she spent a lot of time in the prior years in front of the cameras. 58 years old on the day, and Hilary Duff, who is still pretty awesome, 35 years old on the day, but officially an adult. Well, long time officially adult, but it's hard to think of her. For me, essentially, she is, Lizzie McGuire, but she ain't Lizzie McGuire no more. Ain't that the truth? Today, we're going to celebrate Drink Beer Day. Don't question me. Don't put any sort of doubt into your mind. Just go drink a beer. Drink responsibly. Just go drink a beer and celebrate that. No qualms, no fights, no tussling. Just do that. Let's wrap it up on this thing out the door. A study found that reconnecting with your sweetheart boils down to 2 words: road trip. A whopping 84% of couples say taking a simple road trip strengthens their relationship. That's quality time, just you and your sweetie. It's also a good time to talk about something important. Me and Christian with a K, my beautiful wife, will probably fall in that 16% where it's not quite strengthening our relationship. Because pretty much anytime we take a long road trip, we start searching on our phones for divorce lawyers because, not the best time to talk about something important when we're in the car. Maybe it's just us and that other 16% of folks, you other 84 folks, you know what? Good luck to you. This has been Things You Might Have Heard, not for Tuesday. I knew I messed that up and didn't do it away. It is actually Wednesday, the 28th of September, 2022. Thank you so much for being here on the Shizo and being a part of our world, being a part of what's going on. We appreciate all the comments, all the feedback, what's going on. Thank you so much for suggesting some things to put into the newer-ish format, and we're incorporating as many of them as possible as time and mental capacity allots. So there's a few more things, a few more tweaks we're going to get in this thing as the time goes by in the next week or 2 weeks or so. But in the meantime, let us know what you're thinking about how it feels so far, how it flows so far, how I look so far. I get comments on that as well. Also, make sure you stop by our feeds, which happen to be on Facebook and Twitter, so that you can help do the work for me and tell me what stories we're yakking up about. We had about 32 stories over the last 30 hours. And of course, we took from the top 15. Now we're pulling 8 stories specifically from Tuesday through Friday to try to keep it pithy. We're trying our best. Make sure you, of course, are staying hydrated, staying limber, staying on task, muting your phones when hurricanes are going through. It's actually a family chat. We have some cousins that live in Florida area, and we're basically checking up on them. So that's family chat, making sure that everybody's good down there. So love you, Brittany. Another happy birthday to you. And we'll be chatting, make sure you're good for the next couple days or so. But if you have friends and family in the Florida area, make sure they're okay. If you have friends and family in the path of any sort of destructive, there's still wildfires, by the way. Check on them and check on your strong friends sometimes, because sometimes they need to be checked on, even if they're going to complain about it. In the meantime, we're going to do this, like I said, to stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on task. We need you for the grand things you need to do, and be here tomorrow. A special day. We won't spoil the surprise, but a special day we're on here for Things You Might Have Heard, and we will bust that open, wide open, come tomorrow.